acquired this mug years ago due to a love of hummingbirds and gold and pretty things. It is a black lacquered, it has gold paint, and it is stamped Japan, which dates it to at least the early 1940s. Next. Later, I found this bell, which matched it, and it is also marked Japan. I was not a bell collector at the time, but I had to have this one to match my mug. The significant piece first, bell companion second. Returning from a trip to Australia, there was a layover in the Dubai airport. Browsing around the shops, I found this piece to bring home as a souvenir piece. It is a heavy metal camel riding in full riding gear, being led by its owner. Next. Later, I acquired this little brass bell stamped Jerusalem to match my Dubai camel souvenir, as it also has full red saddle gear and a halter. This bell is about 4 inches high, and I'm still not a bell collector. One more. It's not right there. Stay there. Time passes. My mother and father, whom you know as Mickey and Marie Varian, traveled to China. When they came home bearing souvenirs for the family, I was presented with this beautiful dragon. I was not a collector of much of anything until this guy came along. Doesn't he look fierce? Soon I was on the lookout for more. The collector bought a kit, and I started collecting dragons. My parents were members of ABA and traveled yearly to conventions in various states. My mother became president of ABA in 2009, and her convention was scheduled in Texas. So I decided I'd go to that one. It was great fun. I joined ABA, but I was a collector of bells yet. However, browsing the sales room soon became my downfall. I spied this. Hard to see, but this belt has a dragon wrapped around it. It was not expensive, so I bought it, and it would go home to my dragon from China. Next. This dragon became the base while it holds the bell, and it has a striker as well. Another companion for my dragon at home. Next. Oh, 2 dragons with a striker, but there's no bell yet, so aha, I have a quest. There are now many other dragons nestled up against my original Chinese souvenir non-bell dragon that started all this. This next dragon is not a companion piece per se, but it made me laugh, so I bought it, and I put it there with the rest of them. Next. Next. I bought this 12-inch snake souvenir made of resin to remind me of a 3-foot one I saw in a street bazaar in Mexico City. Once at home, it fell off the shelf and the tail broke, but I kept it anyway. My brother-in-law saw it and he wanted to fix it, but I couldn't find the tail. So that next Christmas, I received this from him. Next. So of course, they now sit together. Next. At the following convention, visiting the sales room again, I was delighted to discover this 4-inch brass medal that matched my snakes. It is engraved Gerard, 1977, and from the collection of Helen Derio, number 1188. The base is oval rather than round. It is covered with leaves twining up the handle, and if you look closely, around the handle is a tiny coiled snake. So yes, I had to have it. Next. Sometime later, I came across this dangling 5.5-inch heavy brass metal bell. The holder of the bell and the base is a coiled up snake. On the back of the snake near the head is an attached striker. On the base, it is marked China, which puts it around pre-1914. Yep, off to my snake land these will go. Imagine my later surprise to see these same 2 snake bells in a bell tower article. So now they feel kind of important. Next. So what is this? Definitely not a bell. Arr, it's a pirate. Actually, it's a handmade nutcracker created by a friend of mine who does these as a craft. It stands a little over a foot tall. She told me that she was trying to decide what to make for me, and a pirate jumped into her mind. Really? Notice it has a hook for a hand. Of course, this pirate bad boy earned a special place of display where I could see it every day. But it stood alone. Next. Then one day at a convention, I noticed this on a sales table manned by Bill Martin in 2010. It is tag number 417. It is a set of bar tools mounted on a brass bell. Each bar tool is attached to a brass pirate ship's handle. So you see the pirate ship up top, and there's a cork, there's a bottle opener, there's a corkscrew, you can't quite see, they all have a different thing. There's no marking on the bell, but each ship is marked the Revenge. I thought of my pirate at home and thought, well, hey, what's a pirate without some ships? So I bought the bell to display with the pirate as a companion piece. Also in the sales room, I spied a larger 7-inch ship bell, somebody's number 125, no marking, and I bought that too. Now my pirate would have a fleet of 5 ships. The biggest one being his, of course. But what are ships without anchors? Next. This unmarked brass-colored metal anchor bell is approximately 7 inches tall. The tiny one on it is painted silver. I don't know what color it really would be. Next. As we all know, pirates are very fond of grog, but they need steins to drink out of. So, in the sales room, this tiny 3-inch brass-colored metal bell handle has 3 farmhouses around the stein. The bottom of the clapper says, "Made in USA." Next. This tiny steel-colored stern is only 1.5 inches tall, but it also has the same 3 farmhouses, and I could not find a marking on it. Next. When pirates are off sailing in deep seas, they often see mermaids and sea serpents. A magnet sticks to this metal serpent on the bell. It is 3.5 inches high, and the bell diameter is 1.75 inches. There is a collector tag that says 165, but there is no marking. Next. A magnet does not stick to this 4.5-inch gold-colored mermaid bell, carrying a shield and sword. She's shown back to, because I thought there would be kids here, and she's rather voluptuous and scantily clad, so I needed a G rating. So I turned her around. Letters along the midline of the bell say Warzawa, WarszawA, which is Warsaw in the Polish language. There is an origin myth in Poland involving a mermaid named Sawa who lived in a river. She married a fisherman named Wars, and together they created Warsaw. The bell has a collector sticker marked 3705, but no marking. Next. Okay, so here's our guy, and his ships, and his anchors, and his serpent, and his mermaid, and please notice on his hand, he has a hook, and he's carrying keys. So you're going to want to remember that. Thanks to my nutcracker, I have 7 more bells just from those few. But I looked at them and I went, I don't know where you are. So let's see. Can you go back one? Is that the full? Oh, go forward, stop it. Yeah, now next. Keys and
Now
next.
next.
And one more. So the pirate that we just saw decided he would go to a local, this is the story, by the way. He decided he would go to a local tavern and have a nice cold grog. Next. Or maybe two. While he was there, he heard a story from a guy about a treasure that's available to be found. He quickly rounded up his crew and he ran for his next back one. Can you go back one? Oh, that's the treasure. Go forward. Ships. He ran for his ships and another and hauled up the anchors. So they were raised and the ship set sail. Next. Along the way, he saw a mermaid and, next, a sea serpent, but he was in too much of a hurry to pursue them, so he sailed on. And at last, he found what he was looking for, piles of treasure. The pirates scooped it all up and headed for shore. Next, there's our pirate with the keys. Our pirate captain kept all the treasure boxes safely locked up by holding all the keys on his hook. Remember these keys? They would divide up all the treasure on the next shore and next sail off onto their next adventure. Remember the keys I keep telling you to say, think of? Here I would like to say thank you to Bruce Clayton and his 25-cent box in the sales room, from where I have scavenged pirate treasure box keys a couple at a time for several years. So now, given these and all of the bells that I have collected, all of these starter pieces have now been ended up being designated as a companion piece to my bell collection. But for me, I will always remember that my companion piece actually came first. Does it really matter? Bells can not only be collected, but they can be challenging and they can be fun as well. Some can even tell a story if you put them together. It's all about the hunt. On to the next bell adventure. Thank you, and the end.